CDBC.
Welcome to the most exciting match of the day as we have top of the table PSG going up against DCG. Our top of the table highlight matches between these two teams. It's going to be very exciting. I'm Clement Chu, your host and play-by-play today. With me is Ray Richu, which is a very rare occurrence right here. Before we go a little bit deeper into the matchup, of course, a big thank you to our sponsors, Garena, Carry Live, and of course CTBC, which also has a team. I don't know which sponsor would do that. Not only sponsor the league, but also sponsor a team. That's absolutely so awesome of you guys. Thank you very much. Now we head on to the main event coming down here. PSG, they still have a 9-1 record. They're still at the top of the standings. They have been looking shaky recently. Not a lot of these games have been clean. Jewish team has looked like a bit of a hurdle for them. And then we have on the other end, DCG coming in here. So going over PSG talent roster again, Hanabi, Bury in the jungle, Gory mid lane, Unified and Kawing rounding out the bottom.
Yeah, and I mean, we're talking about the roster during the break. I think none of us are really quite sold on Bury just yet. Also, we kind of want to see Unified have like a bit more of a better performance in the PCS than he's had a bit lately. But Gory, on the other hand, has just had standout performance after standout performance in the PCS. I think he's second on the MVP standing so far, mostly due to his Azir, which has just been show-stoppingly good the couple of times that other teams have let that one through, but otherwise there's been a lot of like Azir, a lot of clunky from him. It'll be kind of interesting to see if DCG decide to go that route and ban out his Azir, ban out the mid lane champion pool. So that will be an interesting one to take note of later on. Meanwhile, we do have the roster of Deep Crest Gaming on your screens. It's Leaky, Hannah, Nesty, Criskata, as well as Woody in the support to round out this composition. And I just love how like at ease Nesty always looks like on the player cams. Like win or lose, he just always has like that same expression, you know. It's just glad that he's having fun, enjoying himself in the PCS after, you know, he took that 1 year off last year to go play in a bit of the more minor leagues over in Taiwan. I'm just glad that he's back playing in the PCS, you know, when he was on like HK I think J team in the past as well. I think mid lane will be interesting this time around. Traditionally, he's been playing a lot of Swain, even though most of the none of the other PCS teams have really been choosing to play Swain anymore on 12.12, and that's going to be the head-to-head matchup featured for today. It is Gory versus Nesty, and instantly you can see that the champion pool could not be more different if they tried. You've got the Azir, Kirky, Silas, or Gory, as well as the Swain, Talia, and Galio for Nesty. I mean, Nesty just yesterday, we saw him go, I think it was Imperial Mandate over on Swain. He got the MVP at the end of the game, but he was down, I think it was 1,991 gold with that support item, but still managed to get the MVP because I think that Swain just really helps to hide a lot of Nesty's flaws. He's not traditionally known as the best laner, but then when you fall behind in terms of CS, in terms of lane on a champ such as a Swain, you can still manage to dish out the damage. You know, his build cost is pretty cheap, and it just hides a couple of those flaws and leaves him like just open to be able to roam across the map. So Swain has been a very good pick for DCG. We'll see if PSG decide to ban it out.
And we are moving on into the ban picks right now. We have Seraphine banned away right at the start here. This is definitely a Deep Cross Gaming ban because they can flex it between the mid and Criskata's position. Also going to be going out is the Swain, as we talked a lot about. Nesty is your more mid-game roaming mid laner type of guy. His damage numbers are down, but if you looked at his KDA, if you looked at his kill participation, they're going to be up compared to Gory. So it does seem about all the mid laners because we have the two most played ban away from Gory, and we have the two most played ban away from Nesty. Each team is trying to force each other into a bit of a new direction.
Yeah, this will be exciting to see because we are wondering just why most of the other PCS teams have been leaving Azure open versus Gory. I think now that we're into the second round robin, teams are finally picking up that, you don't want to leave Azure open versus Gory, and they're finally saying enough's enough. We're not going to let him play his standout champion. So PSG did get to first pick the Renata for their bot side. DCG in response look like they want to go for Kalista. I think Senna would be a good option here. Aphelios as well. But yep, they will go for the Kalista. I think maybe Tam Kench is now open as well. There are a couple of supports that would be good options to pair with the Kalista, or they maybe want to go for a different lane pick here. And Poppy and Trundle are still. Oh yeah, Talia. Yeah,
want to take away Kalista Renata combo here on PSG, so they're just going to break that apart. And PSG in the past have been happy to play Aphelios Renata as well, so they have more flexibility. You don't see Renata first picks all that much, but PSG are willing to do it because they're confident in their bot lane. They know they can play both sides of this one.
Yeah, also. Yeah, DSG managed to get the Talia for Nesty. I think that's his second played champ so far in PCS this summer. So it really allows Nesty to just roam to the side lanes, which is his usual play style. Also, I think the couple of changes in the recent patches as well. She does get that bit more damage, I think, on her combos. So we'll see how Nesty can utilize that. And Aphelios Renata, as you mentioned, it's something that Unified and Kaiwing are very familiar with going for, as well as the Poppy lock-in. So did you have the option here right now to maybe pick up the Trundle or Ashe support for Woody? So we do see this. I think we saw it most recently yesterday. I think it was Koala playing the Hill of Blades Ashe support. It's especially good against a short-range duo. For example, yesterday I think they picked it versus Kalista Renata. So this time around it is going to be the Aphelios. I think Aphelios without his ultimate, and in the early stages of the game, kind of also opens himself up to being punished a bit by the Ashe support. So a bit of a creative pick from DCG, which we like to see. I mean, DCG is always known as a team in the PCS that is very willing to whip out things like the Bard support, the Bard for Nesty, and the Ashe support. So yeah, this isn't too far out of left field for them.
We're seeing Deep Cross Gaming going for more of a faster paced composition. PSG, they've already locked in pretty much the best late game carry in the AD position. They have counter engage on both Poppy and Renata. So this is kind of a keep away comp with scaling. So DCG's answer has to be either side lane or something that just out tempos PSG's composition. They're going to be banning away a lot of the keep away champions. I think Gwen does really well if you have to run into her. She can just keep herself alive so long that high load missed. Same thing with the game plan. Very good terrain denial control would make engaging on this composition nearly impossible. So they're going to take that one away. And I like PSG bans as well. Like pretty much your best early game strong jungler and your tank Sejuani that does so well in those mid game dragon fights here. So I think DCG, they have to go for, I wouldn't be surprised for something like a Volibear to come out here. Trundle's gone. Wukong
yeah, I was thinking
is also very strong.
Yeah, Wukong is strong, but kind of needs to maybe combo with something else. Can combo with Ashe Arrow, maybe, but DCG might want to look to pick up at least one other type of engage besides the Wukong. We'll see how PSG respond to this, because there are just so many topside bans. So there is the Yon, which is, let's see, yep, there's no Silas ban out so far. Usually the Yone is good, is like an alright pick into the Silas. So this time around, Gragas would be interesting as well. As you said, there aren't that many options left available for topside. Now that Orin has kind of fallen off in the meta, also Volley also not as good in 12-12 after a couple of nerfs. Yep, it's gonna be the Gragas lock-in.
When Leaky has been playing mainly tanks this patch, we're gonna have to see what he takes here, because Leaky's not usually known for your fighter style of champions. he needs something with better engage here as well, and he's going to go for the Mordekaiser. This is an interesting one. I wouldn't say Mordekaiser is a great champion against something like Gragas, because you just blast him out of the range. He takes a
You
long
get
time to walk back
outranged.
into the team fight.
Exactly. You can get punished on that. That's a bit whack.
So we have our compositions. DCG going to go for that mid-game team fight. They have a lot of rotation ability. They have a lot of catch ability with the Ashe, with the face call. And then you have PSG, which I think has a more interesting composition. Gory's role here is a little bit undefined. He does have a great matchup against the Talia, so he's probably just going to try and keep Nesty in lane. But on the other side of it, it's kind of a standard composition where you're just trying to play keep away with the Aphelios. So you have Keeper's Verdict, you have Explosive Task, you just try to throw a bunch of stuff and make sure that Unified can deal hasn't that much time to deal damage.
Yeah, I think the Mordekaiser pickup is very interesting because unless you're gonna use it on Gory, I think the main role for Mordekaiser is pretty much once you hit 6, once you get to the team fights, you're just going to lock Unified into jail forever and just make sure that he isn't allowed to dish out damage in that team fight. Like especially for Aphelios, because PSG put so much into like first picking the Renata, making sure they got the Aphelios Renata bottom lane that Kaiwing and Unified are comfortable with. The fact that DC just counter this by picking Mordekaiser and making sure that Aphelios is just going to be useless for the first couple of seconds of any team fight. I think that is a very creative counter from the side of DCG. I'm just not all too sure how well he's going to fare in lane versus the Gragas, but come the team fights, I think they'll have a shot.
Oh, for sure. I feel like this is pretty much the ultimate QSS tax. You just take one player away, and even if you don't kill them, they're gone for 7 seconds. So
no League of Legends for you. No team fight for you. Oh, 5-man bot? What is this cheese? Oh no, they're going back to base. I was excited for a second. Oh man. Come on.
I feel like PSG do this quite a bit as well, so DCG is just trying to make sure they find some vision, and they also have a ward in the back brush here, so that means that Ashe can just walk up and poke, make sure that the handshake isn't going to be coming in, and make sure that they can actually see the handshake as it does come in here, as they are expected to actually get the early shove in this matchup, so pretty standard stuff. Unfortunately, no fireworks happening.
Yeah, not just yet. There's the alert coming up on the side of PSG. Just wanting to check out where Hana does start. Will be the red buff over on the top side. So pretty standard. PSG are just also going to have the standard red buff, the dual bot leash for Bury in the bottom side.
And as expected, DCG gonna get control of the early level 1 right here. I do want to point out that, I'm super excited about Yone being played here by Gory. Typically, Gory is your Azir Corki player, but with this Yone, I think it's actually a great pickup. It packs a lot of damage. It also is great against Talia and champions like Ashe, with very low mobility. They can't really dodge out of the Fate Sealed. So we'll see how Gory does here. It's definitely, a different flavor from his usual control mage champions. But it's one where you can see him go for the backline, which is kind of what he's known for.
Absolutely. I mean, because Bury and Gory, they're fresh into the PCS for summer, right? Like, pretty much everyone else on most of the other rosters have been playing since spring. We've only got 3 weeks of games from Gory and Bury to just, look at. And we've kind of always been wondering, for Gory, Bury right here just walked over the ward, so they know that he's there. Just gonna slowly back out and take a bit of AA damage from Woody, who has pretty decent AA, even as the Ashe support, of course, in the early game. But yeah, going back to Gory, it's just been a bit of a question mark, right? Because we've seen him play Azir, we've seen him play Corki, but was that because Azir and Corki are good on the patch, right? When we were looking at week 1 of PCS summer, when everyone everyone was playing that Corki Azir, so still pretty strong. Like we weren't really sure how deep Gory's champion pool really is. So the fact that he's whipping out like this new champion in this game is just some pretty exciting stuff. We'll have to see how well he utilizes this. But I think looking at the PSG versus DCG matchup, I'm kind of expecting DCG. Like I want them to be a bit proactive in the early game. I want them to really like use the Wukong, use the Talia when she hits level 6 to make stuff happen on the map. Just because PSG, even though they might be a bit slow in the early to mid, especially recently, I think DCG can look to try and punish that if they play a bit faster in the early to mid, because PSG, they still have a strong team fight. So I think that if it goes to even gold come the team fight, then I think DCG will have a problem. So they've got to make some stuff happen early on.
Well, we're going to see a gank happening right in the mid lane, but Gory able to get away with the E. In the meantime, I want to commend Woody right here, 2 for 2 on the hog shots. This is a great use of the Ashe. You can get that wave shoved in, and we have a 2v2 fight. Good handshake coming in from Kai Wing. Oh, Unified gonna flash in for more. Can he actually find the kills here? No, gonna get slowed down by Chris Scotta. Goes all the way and takes 2 tower shots on the first blood and stays alive with the triumph.
Run, Chris Scotta, run!
Calculation. Bury's gonna come in and try to pick up the pieces right here. Doesn't get the stun, but that's enough to find the 1 kill. And now Woody's got nowhere to go. Can the minions do their job? Double flashes in, and Woody gets another one. It's gonna be a 2 for 2.
Hashtag worth for the side of DCG. They managed to get first blood onto Cascada right there. Bought some time as well, forcing Bury to walk over to the bottom side. And Woody picking up that kill for himself. So we're going to take a look at this once again. But Cascada wouldn't aggressive. They all start out where it looks like Woody is getting caught. Still actually has one more biscuit. So doesn't quite need to worry about the early ignite from the Renata, actually. I'm not sure if the ignite was like a bit of a miscalculation, but there you can see the Cascada with that super aggressive flash, straight up winning the 1v1 versus Unified. And look, just chef's kiss, brilliant ADC play, and then now PSG, forced to bring Bury over to the bot side. I don't think Bury was able to get the shield in time on that one. It did look a bit close, but the kill will go over to Witty, so well done to DCG.
That was really close coming in from Bury right there. He flashes, but still ties the minion damage anyway.
Yep.
A massive win here for DCG. And I have to say, that was kind of a weird play from Unified. I don't think he was anywhere close to actually getting in kill range on Woody in that play. As you mentioned, Woody's still with the sustain. Let's see if Kaiwin can find another handshake right here. Ooh, barely misses out.
Oh, that was close.
And that's the gank out the window. Or is it? As Bury uses the Hex Flash across the wall, gets a knockback onto Chris Scotta, gets the cleanse, and the kill. It was all a bait.
Calculated from the side of PSG. Very smart play from them because they knew that Cascada was down flashed. So the fact that Cascada and Woody were just slightly pushed forward over in the bot side just allowed themselves to left themselves open to Bury's return gank right there. A bit of a small positioning mistake from DCG that PSG were able to capitalize on and punish. So well done to them. Woody's just going to be really annoying with the W. Stop the back from the side of PSG. Also earlier on, I want to note that the Gory gets punched up in the air. Just gonna walk that one off.
I love the Hex Flash Poppy tech because you don't really know about it until you actually see the Hex Tech Flash being used in game, and then you realize, oh, we can actually go over walls like this. Like it's not guaranteed that you bring it every time, but I love it when players do. It makes a lot of sense to me. It makes those game paths that much harder to predict. Chris Scotta got just a little bit cocky right there. Oh, he's gonna get the 160 still off the plate. And I feel like we are heading into that phase where the question is going to become, where is that Weaver's Wall? Where is that sort of mid-game that we have to see from the side of DCG? Because if it doesn't happen, I feel like PSG do have very, very strong options going up. Gory's going to be a monster. Aphelios is going to be a monster. I do think PSG do have the better 5v5 composition if their champions are on equal footing.
Yeah, I agree. Also, Nesty is already down about one wave of CS over in mid lane. He's down about 10 CS. He has hit level 6. He's level 7 right now. So as you're talking about that crucial ultimate, I mean, we've been saying Talia is great at roaming and Nesty is a great roamer, but that's all just moot if they don't make anything out of that right now.
Whoops.
Hana
Hana?
has to try and run away in his own jungle, but the follow-up from Gory means that it's dead Hana in the jungle over by his blue buff. So well played from a PSG right there. They were able to just catch Hana out where they thought that he would be. Over in the topside jungle, and with DCG's jungler dead, it just leaves the first dragon of the game open for PSG to take.
I want to see that replay again because I'm not sure if it was a 200 IQ play from Burry to hold on to the auto attack, or was it just Hana committing suicide by hitting the blast cone. So we'll see this again. Burry, okay, so no, Burry definitely uses auto attack. So it was Hana. Hana actually was the one that hit this.
No! What?
That was, or was it Burry just coming off of cooldown? I think it was Hana.
I think it was Hana too. It did look like it was Hana who just kind of
Buckler should have been expended
the cone. Yeah, I think it was Hana who clicked the blasting cone backwards. Very unfortunate.
Well, that happened, and Drake goes over to PSG. So
that happened,
really
and
hold on to their chances using that. It kind of looked like Burry maybe his Buckler just came off cooldown. I think that's what happened. If it did go down that way, that's 200 IQ play from Burry, very well deserved. But it also could be some sort of like a digital thing where it was wrong.
Yeah, we'll give Hana the benefit of the doubt, you know?
Okay. Yeah, it was Burry. It was Burry 200 IQ play. There it is.
Exactly. Hana can do no wrong, man. He's like top 3 jungler PCS easy. Top 4, top 3, top 3. I'm going to top 3.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
We are going to get a lot of movement here. I feel like DCG, with all of their initial ultimates online, they have so much engaged potential across the map. It's just about how they can use it. Put everything here. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to be here. Cyclone is going to be up. So, they are going to spot out Hana here.
Unified. They don't. They're waiting for the minion wave so they can dive. But it is 3v3 though, so Hana literally on the ward, they know that he's there, which is why they pulled Burry over as well, but DCG have wards and drive, so both squads know this is the 3v3, and DCG is going to be the first one to walk out of there. I don't think either team really wants to commit. They won't lose all that much because Dragon is still like 3 minutes from being up, and neither side really has prio. Also, mid lane Talia is getting pushed in, so I don't think she's going to have the space to want to
just going to take the hook shot, face handshake right off the bat here, and both sides just kind of burn their ultimates. A very haphazard testing each other, trying to see if anyone gets baited out.
But, trying to see who blinks first, right? There's Cascada forced to use the Catalyst ultimate to toss Woody back out to safety, and that's pretty much the sign that says, yep, we have to fight on bot side, and Glory just going a bit in onto Nesty, but not all that much damage actually. Oh, Woody!
Ultimate. Q3 backwards to dodge the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but likely has to burn a flash to get out of this one. Woody with the assist here.
Yeah, that was such good timing. What a good run from the side of Woody as well, just forcing Gory to fastest fingers first make it out of the Ash Arrow. Looks like Gory doesn't quite want to chase Hana back down into the same
trick isn't
spot.
Gonna work twice. This time, you know that
there's
Hana's
no
not
way.
Gonna take the blast cone.
Yeah, Hana's like, I got PTSD, man. I'm staying far away from that plant, but it looks like PSG won it. 3v1 drive.
It was nice knowing you, Cascada. Oh, actually uses double summoners.
What?
Out of this one doesn't fall down to the first combo, and in comes Hana for first blood. Ooh, that was clean from Cascada. An unfortunate here by Hana as he actually misses out on the wall hit. Unified is going to be taken in, but he's going to die. Has to pop the flash here. He's got probably one more second. Goes down, and in they go onto Kaiwing next. Hana going to walk out of tower range, leaving Kaiwing here without a takedown. That's going to be a double kill to Leaky. That was such a smart roam from Leaky. Just punishing the tower dive as soon as it happened.
And that's gonna be DCG making things so expensive for PSG. They're taking 3 tower plates bot. Won't get a... Actually, I think they will. Nah, they're gonna back off. So 3 is gonna be good enough for them. They're gonna go for the 480 extra gold advantage. And right here, it looks like PSG set it perfectly for the game onto Cascada, but manages to flash out. And once again, the ignite goes down a bit too soon. As you can see, it's nowhere close enough to finish off Cascada. And then the really fast TP response coming out from Leaky to come down towards the bottom side. Oh, and then Unified with the flash. Get out of the Mordekaiser.
Ash with the long range enchanted crystal arrow as well to get the lockdown. And that was a huge miss by Burry. He actually had the target stunned up, but
yeah,
he still didn't angle it correctly. He actually misses the stun on his E, which allows Cascada to double sum and just escape from that. Should have been a clean kill. PSG mis-executing, pay the price.
Yeah, a bit of a shame right there. They used a lot to get 3 members over towards the bot side. It should have been what you mentioned, a clean kill onto Cascada, but it doesn't matter. PSG are going to very easily pick up the second dragon of the game with 4 members bot side. DCG just not in a position to contest at all. If you take a look at the mini-map, just PSG have warded all of the jungle entrances over bot side river, so just not giving DCG any room at all to try and contest or try and jostle for position over in the river. Right now, PSG look like they want to make something happen bot side. However, Hana is waiting in the wings, so I'm not sure if they want to try this, because if any one of them goes down, it's going to mean they lose their bot side tier 1 also. They do have Burry here, but yeah, looks like the smart decision is going to be for them to head back to base.
They know they can't push out anymore at this point. You do have the Mythic here on Cascada.
Neither of them can get this kill. Come on, it's a wet noodle fight in top. They're at best just like jostling for position. There's no way they can 1v1.
And first tower is going to go over to Cascada. I think that should mean Herald as well, as long as they can delay for a while for the bottom lane to get there. Yes, you are going to be on the spot first, but they know they're lacking the power, so let's see if they try to rush it down. They're going to go for it right off the bat, and Ash is still very far away. Enchanted Crystal Arrow could be coming in at any moment right now. It doesn't look like DCG are actually contesting. Yeah, DCG know they're late to the party. They're happy with the first tower. They will give away the Herald here. And the... Wow, I've never seen this that much, but it's the Talia tempo rotation with Weaver's Wall. That's an interesting move.
Yeah, it's the split push Talia with the wall to get into the side lane, Clement. A classic.
Wonder what they do with it afterwards, though. They didn't really deny any minions, and that's
I'm also
long cooldown ultimate.
I'm kind of concerned with how easily DCG is just giving up the objectives, like both Drakes. I mean, we're talking about how DCG kind of need to play the early and mid game very smart, so that they can try and contest versus PSG's superior team fighting skill as well as team fighting composition. So they do have the gold lead right now, but it's only about 2,000 at 17 minutes. So they have the lead, but I'm just not sure it's enough.
Taking a look at the items here, we actually have Yone going for more of a split push build with the Blade of the Rune King. It's going to be swapping up to match the top side, as we already have Leaky committed to the Mercury Treads against the Gragas matchups. It should be a slight gold effectiveness lead for the side of Gory. As you can see, the fight going very well for him. Not even using the ultimate, already forcing Leaky away here. So really smart item choice, really smart tempo to go into that top lane. That should be a tower for free. It's out of nowhere, PSG getting these leads.
Yeah, DCG shouldn't be allowing this to happen. PSG are going to use Shelly to make sure they do get the top side tier 1. They're going to even out the tower score. DCG forced to use the teleport on Leaky, but he's won before though, and Shelly still will have one more charge onto the top side tier 2. So they do call Woody over here, but it's not good. They're gonna keep their tier 2, but pretty much any gust of wind in the future is going to knock that one down. So PSG played that one very smart. They also get a bit more extra gold, and they're just drawing closer in terms of that gold gap, which is pretty worrying, I think, going into the team fight for later on.
This definitely isn't enough of a lead, I think, for DCG to
Yeah.
overcome a PSG late game. If
Also,
I'm looking at
Dragon's
the
coming
comps.
up in like less than 1 minute, so DCG are trying to like get Prio over in the like river right here. They want to put down some wards, but PSG
Oh,
are
the
also
Jennifer
here.
Era goes down. They find Bury with the full burst combo, but barely takes him down to half HP. He's able to flash out okay, so take stock of things. That's only two ultimates used on DCG's side right before the Dragon for Bury's flash. I think PSG are actually quite happy with this one as they can move in with an extra ultimate. Gory gets to catch out Leaky right here. We talked about the item builds. It definitely does favor Gory in this one-on-one trade. He's going to use the Fate Seal, but Leaky is chasing forward. He's got two single target Qs down already. That's the third, and Leaky is on a killing spree. That was the fight where Gory was looking for trouble, and he ended up paying the cost.
Yep, 3-0-0 is Leaky's KD8 right now. He's kind of getting it to the point where the Collect Smash is going to deal a lot of damage. It's definitely something that PSG are going to want to look out for. And the fact that they were able to take down Gory, a number of PSG means that DCG feel like they have the space to take this Dragon. I mean, there is also Gragas and Aphelios on the side of PSG, but you know, they're actually not going to use any of the tools that they have to kind of go for a Dragon Steel attempt at all. It doesn't look like they're trying to go for a fight either. Maybe you want to try and catch out Cascada over around the side, but PSG putting a very passive response. If you look at the 1v1 over in top.
Yeah, let's talk about this one. You know, Gory, he's itemized like half tank against Leaky, but the thing about this trade is Leaky just gets so many single target Qs, giving him extra damage. He also is able to shield at just an optimal time. He had a lot of the shield remaining from the previous minion wave, so he's able to pop his W, get a big shield, and then just, you know, block out most of the initial damage coming in from Gory as well. So despite the itemization, we see a very strong performance from Leaky, and of course the 2 kills definitely can help there as he takes down into a third. So this changes the matchup quite a bit, because we are going to have an unmatched Mordekaiser in one of these side lanes.
And that's the thing, right? Because when you pick a Mordekaiser, the thing is, it's always a safe pick, because no matter how far behind you end up in laning phase, once you get into a team fight, you just press R and you just shut down the opposing AD carry. But the fact that right now Luki is so far ahead, he's got like a 450 shutdown gold as well that PSG might want to consider trying to take for later. The fact that he's ahead just makes it so much harder for Unified later on in the team fights, because he's not just gonna lock you in there for 7 seconds. He could actually completely shut you out and take you down in that time also. So it's gonna be something they need to watch out for. For the side of PSG, besides the Aphelios, they've really only got Gory in terms of damage potential, but as you talked about, like his itemization, he's kind of going for that half a tank of the Bami's Cinder also. So without Unified on the Aphelios during the team fights, it's going to be pretty hard for PSG to try and find other damage sources.
It's a really interesting build coming out, as we do have the Sunfire again for Yone. This is everything into the Unified basket. I'm not even sure why he's going Sunfire on Yone. This is
versus
kind of
Mordekaiser too, I don't understand. What are they going to do for the
Yone
first
build
5 seconds? Yikes. Oh, they have no vision. Oh, that was close. I thought for sure Woody was going to arrow right there. I mean, it is Poppy, so she can always disengage pretty easily. But that did look dicey. Oh, engage on a Bury.
It's going to take a lot of damage, and in comes a Weaver Wall. They don't get Unified. They are given a bit of time to get a couple free hits onto the tower. In the meantime, Leaky is just split pushing this, so DCG have to be careful. Like, with the combo PSG have, they can definitely kill you before 6 seconds ends. I think it's a smart idea to back out a little bit, make sure that Wombo Combo isn't in range, and they're just going to continue until someone has to answer that bottom wave. Indeed, Hanabi's going to go down there, giving DCG control of the Baron once again. And as we said, you know, DCG, they still want to end things a little bit sooner rather than later. They're only up by 2,000 gold. So maybe going for the Baron Fish is going to be a good idea. That might be the game plan for the next 5 minutes for DCG.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a worrying trend for DCG. They haven't been able to get any more of a gold lead in the last 6 or 7 minutes. PSG have managed to keep that to just about 2,000 gold for the last 6 or 7 minutes. So it's hard for DCG, as you mentioned. They might want to try and bait Baron. Also, Dragon is coming up in less than a minute. Would be the second Dragon for DCG if they do get this. So they get the second stack on the buff. So they will want to get that one. I mean, the extra tankiness would be good on Wukong, would help the Mord a bit as well. Just so many wards over the topside river. PSG, are they the ones going to be starting Baron? I don't think so.
No, it's too difficult for them right now, and Unified's still sitting on 2 versus 3 items coming in from Friscata. I feel like this is just getting vision, so DCG don't rush it. And what we do have to remember, DCG, if you give them too much space, they can actually just Weaver Wall, cut off all the ramps, and force you to flash to contest the Baron. So, yes, you definitely need vision in that corner. You also know they have a Callista, which gives you that second smite.
Yeah.
They have to pay very close attention to the Baron.
Yeah, that's the thing. Both of these teams have a bit of a scary fight in terms of in the pit, because on one side you've got Hanabi on Gragas, who's always going to have this R in the pit. DCG also have the Wukong, and as you mentioned, the Talia to kind of cut off any type of steal from the side of PSG. So I don't think either team really wants to risk a 5-on-5 inside either Baron or Dragon pit, but it looks like PSG are just very willing to give that one over to DCG, so they will get 2 stacks of the Dragon. It's 2 apiece right now. Gory's gonna wait for the wave, finally finish off the top side at tier 2. Probably just gonna AA and then back out. Oh. Wow,
just back out immediately.
Wow, just gets scared by Nisty from the start.
Doesn't want to take any damage in that situation. It's an interesting state of the game, because I definitely feel like PSG are the ones on the back foot at this point in time. For DCG, I actually think they're perfectly happy taking the 5-5. Like, right now, they're so incredibly strong from the bot side. They're so incredibly strong from the top. So, I think they're the ones that are going to be playing more around Baron and just trying to see if they can catch anyone out. If someone goes into River, just Weaver's Wall, and suddenly you can just pick them up for free. It's very difficult for PSG, I think, to wade into this position right now, and that's going to be where all the attention is at. How are they going to finish it?
I'm just surprised by how cautious both these teams are actually playing, for the last 8 minutes or so, because we saw a lot of action, a lot of kills in the early game, but for the last 8 minutes, it just looks like both PSG and DCG are unwilling to start a fight, but that might change soon.
That's the Gory face check. That's pretty smart. I will give him that.
Yeah, he's the only one that has that get out of face check free card right now, so they're just gonna make sure they use that. They're gonna min-max it. Oh, Hanabi!
Get the Enchanted Crystal instant combo onto Hanabi, but Hanabi can still flash out. Now Burry is trying to close this ramp. Ultimate used by Renata, but nothing really accomplished right there. Burry, in the meantime, just finds a little bit of damage. I felt like DCG, for them, that was probably too deep of a chase. They do end up using a lot of abilities here. So, yes, they do have a chance to mount a strong comeback once they teleport back into lane, but we are starting out the Baron.
They're starting Baron. They do have the Callista, so not all that slow will be the Baron take if they do decide to fully commit. I like what they're doing because they actually created a lot of space in mid lane. PSG know that their mid tier 1 is also low, so DSG gave PSG the option of choosing either Baron or mid, and oh, they're backing out. Oh, the choke point, they don't want to be caught there.
Burry gets the walk onto Leafy. Leafy pretty happy to just use the ultimate and walk forward and contest the jungler right here. Burry is in the the wrong side of the team fight as he flashes out with a great escape. That was pretty clever. I'm very much surprised that Burry got out alive.
That was pretty pog, not gonna lie, from Burry. But as you mentioned earlier, you know, DCG gave PSG the option of do they want to fight in Baron or do they want to fight for mid. So DCG started out Baron, they didn't fully commit to that. PSG tried to justify position. We saw where we just kind of shoot the Ash arrow as like a do you want to fight, do you not want to fight, and then PSG kind of half-heartedly started the fight. DCG were kind of like, yeah, we don't really want to fight you, and then they just walked to mid, picked up mid tier 1, and then everyone based. So very non-committal from both these squads, but smart decision by DCG to make sure that they either got mid tier 1 or the Baron. So they definitely got something out of it.
They extend the gold lead a little bit more now, sitting at about 4,000 gold. But the big thing is, you know, when is Aphelios going to hit that 3-item mark where the Infinity Edge comes online, the crit build is there. That's what I'm looking at in terms of the itemization. So I would say that DCG still have a bit of a window, but it's not a huge one. You can already tell Callista damage starting to fall off. She's not even going to build a 4th damage item, just straight going for random wins, playing like a bruiser in the front line with the rest of the team. And it's going to get kind of worse here. I think, you know, DCG are at the point where they have reached sort of their damage cap, and PSG will get more damage from this point on. So they really want to use these last couple of minutes, get those neutral objectives, try to find a big team fight win before the scary Unified gets online.
Yeah, the thing is though, I think that if DCG get Mountain Soul, I'm not sure how PSG
Unified dodges away from everything, but the wall closes down, still
no.
don't find the target, and DCG walk away from everything. A lot of missed skill shots right there. I struggle to say that was a pretty team fight.
Burry just, he used his ult, but I don't know if he missed his ult or if he just kind of channeled the ult and was like, you know, I don't really want to do this anymore.
Guys, it's okay. Enchanted Crystal Arrow missed, Weaver's Wall missed, Moonlight Vigil missed. I will give Burry a pass in that one because nobody was particularly accurate. In we go into the team fight. PSG very close to getting the smite, and they do find the Baron with the superior positioning, but can they survive the rest of the team fight? Looks like PSG are actually going to walk out completely fine. Only traded for one Mountain Drake.
That's their 3rd Mountain Drake, and the thing is, I think if DCG gets sold, I'm not sure how PSG shred through the Wukong and Mordekaiser.
The quad is going to be a little bit troublesome, isn't it?
That I just don't see how Yone and Unified on Aphelios are going to be able to get through Mordekaiser and Wukong in the 5v5 later on if DCG do get sold. So it's a big yikes now that they've already gotten 3. We will see, because I think PSG know at this point that in 4.5 minutes they absolutely must contest the dragon. So right now their game plan is just going to be kind of like split push, kind of make use of the Baron buff as much as possible, try and gain as much space on the map so that by the time the next dragon fight rolls around, hopefully DCG won't have a good position going into that one, because PSG absolutely cannot give up the next drag.
I think the next fight is all going to be about keeping away Leaky. Leaky doesn't have a flash. His movements are actually pretty predictable. So if you can get explosive cast or the Poppy to keep away Leaky, then you have a chance. But Leaky is going to come in behind. That's such a smart move. Can he get the ultimate on the Unified? He hasn't found it. Not even with the Ghost. Rory now going in. Keeper's Verdict knocks the big scary Iron Man away. And PSG do a perfect defense. That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, we've been waiting for that PSG execution for a while now, because we've been gassing up the PSG team fight, but it's been, 32 minutes. We hadn't seen that PSG team fight, and it looks like PSG's not done yet. They're still going to continue pushing on to DCG. Hana looks like he wants to recall, so already that PSG half the man advantage. There's the round out.
Ultimate. It's going to attack all 3 targets behind the tower, but Burry will get caught up by Leaky. He's going into the back line already. This could be a very close fight. Unified dies to the tower, and Leaky's closing down on the back line. Unified, I don't think he was paying attention to where the aggro was.
Oh no!
And DCG, they take the fight in stride. PSG try to do a risky turret dive, and they lose absolutely everything.
Huge mistake from PSG. Unified, we're gonna see this in the replay later on, but the thing is, Unified probably thought that his teammates were going to be able to win that one because it was something like a 3-on-3 when the fight broke out, and Unified wanted to take down the tower. He was actually continuing to AA the mid tier 2 even as the fight was going on. The thing is, he was like 2 AAs away from bringing the tower down when it switched aggro to him because his teammates were backing out. So that was not the play. We'll take a look at this again. Unified's just aiming the tower from the left. Right here, after the Renata ultimate goes down, I can see he's still trying to get the tower. He gets stunned up and then takes aggro and then dies. So this is super unfortunate for PSG because with Aphelios down, they've lost the fight. They can't fight anymore. And I'm just not sure that Unified recognizes how big of a PC actually is to this PSG composition, and he can't make mistakes like that.
Yeah, that was, I think that was a little bit disrespectful to continue hitting the tower right in front of an Ashe. I don't think that was good for his health. So he goes down, but I would say the only, the silver lining there is he didn't have any summoners in that fight to begin with. So he's still going to hold on to his flash. He still is going to hold on to his flanks.
River's wide open from both sides. It's 1 minute to dragon. I'm scared, Clement. This is so dangerous for both sides.
This is what we wanted to see. We want to see fights on the knife's edge, and this is what we're going to get. Now, all eyes still have to be on Unified. He died in the most unexpected way in the last fight. We'll see how well PSG can protect him in this one. He has all of his summoners up, but crucially, he cannot get away from the Death Throne. If Mordekaiser, Leaky just points his finger at him, then he's going on a journey, whether he likes it or not, and he's going to be gone for 7 seconds. So
I mean, he might be gone for a bit longer than 7 seconds. He might be gone for a whole, like, 40 seconds right there, if we're being honest.
In comes the engage. Gory is the one hit, but there is no follow-up here. This is completely free for DCG. To be absolutely honest, like, they can run this play again in just about, like, I think almost something like 40 seconds. Woody's ultimate is almost halfway complete, so they can poke, they can push into the mid lane, and PSG are forced into a very uncomfortable spot. They know that someone is flanking them here. They have to know that as a fact. And Hanabi is late to the fight, so this is really critical. How is Hanabi going to be able to join? Is he going to get spotted here?
Nesty
sees
he doesn't know Nesty's there.
He gets caught out. In comes the combo. Hanabi losing almost all his HP. The rest of PSG have to funnel in this to save their top laner, but the top laner still goes down. Unified flashes forward to get the Moonlight Vigil. He does a ton of damage, but Leaky finds him. The finger of death is pointed Unified's way, and there's nowhere he can go. Hana also survives for now. Gets free pick up the extra kills, the flash across the wall. Gory has to teleport back, and there's no one on the base. There's no one defending this one.
Yo, DCG, they're going to end.
They have to come back here in time. Burry walks face forward into the damage, and he might just go down. Fate's called used. Down goes the jungler. The base is open.
No!
PSG don't have anyone to defend.
Not like
DCG
this.
are gonna give PSG the second loss of this split. What a great strategy. What a great team fight. And what an MVP-worthy performance from Leaky.
What is going on? Hanabi, though, I mean, the player cam, he knew what was going on at the end. He had his hands off of his keyboard. He was just watching as their base was getting absolutely blown apart by DCG. But that was such a smart fight by DCG at the end right there, because they recognized that they didn't actually need the Mouncil at all, because they knew that PSG would have to fight them there. They walked the river, they knew that the river was entirely covered in PSG's wards, and they were like, you know what, we actually don't have to fight here, we just need to fight them and win, and like, we don't even need Soul, we just need to win this fight and then break open their base. And it was so smart of them for Nesty to hide in the bush over below Raptors, and then for the rest of the DCG squad to collapse onto Hanabi once they caught out the Gragas right there. They just won the team fight after 5v4 and then pushed down base. What a smart play from DCG. We're gonna take a look at this replay. Hanabi is
Oh,
absolutely not
Hanabi, you should
expecting
TP here.
anyone.
Making
Yeah,
it
they have wards in the river too.
making it here on foot, definitely not the correct idea. Smart thing for DCG, trading Drake positioning for team fight positioning, and this forces PSG to commit. They have to come in and save their AD carry. I'm not so sure about this move from Unified though. I feel like the flash forward was a little bit uncalled for, and it leaves him in just like there's no good spot for him. He tries to flash forward, he doesn't finish on anyone, and he has no flash with Leaky coming through.
Yeah, because he flashed forward into the back of the Raptors pit, which means he's stuck there. He can't flash out. He can't flash over it either. He thought that he could get the execute onto Hana, but even if he did get the execute onto Hana, then what? He's stuck in Raptors. He's got 3 members of DCG who can just push in onto him, and I don't know, man. We came into this game wanting to see a better performance from Unified. We've been saying like he just hasn't worked up to the standard that we know Unified can play at. We see him in Spring, we see him at MSI, we saw him last year. We expected better from him than I think what he showed this game.
Oh, for sure. I feel like there was, especially in the last 2 team fights, there were very awkward kills. I don't think they were completely Unified's fault. The one in front of second tier tower, to me, that just was never going to work. Murray should not have engaged on that one. But Unified just casually hitting a tower right in front of the Ashe. That's not something I expect Unified to do. That's definitely like the most ununified performance that we've seen for a while. A lot of things actually did go wrong here. I do want to mention. I feel like Gory's build on the Yone was probably not what he was looking for. He didn't get to snowball the lane at all. He did keep nesting down, but he wasn't able to snowball with an actual crit build. Like, you know how much power is invested in your passive, giving you 100% crit rate on 2 items, and Yone is just like, nah, I'm not even gonna build crit. That's unnecessary. So it was a little bit weird. I feel like they, no, I feel like Tank Yone definitely a bit of a question mark in this one.
Tankney, is that a thing? Is that what we're calling it? I mean, we've seen this build before on Yone. It's just that when you look at the DCG draft, like, this build is not it. Like, this build is not it today. So I just wish we'd seen a bit more like adaptation coming out from the PSG side. Also communication. I mean, we're talking about Unified when he was under the tower, just auto-attacking it while the rest of his team has started the fight. That just seems as if the team isn't communicating properly about what they want to do, about whether they want to take tower or whether they want to take the fight, and who they want to even focus on during that. So the MVP is going to, of course, go over to Leaky 8-0 and 0. I want to call out the 0 assists, you know, because it's just a classic top lane thing to do, to be 8-0 but then also 0 assists, because, you know, you just play that solo lane, you're by yourself doing your own thing with the 61.5% kill participation. But I mean, still a very standout performance from Mordekaiser. I mean, DCG showing once again that they can make an off-meta pick work.
Oh boy, I love Leaky's performance in this one. I thought that he was going to be able to be kept away, but the TP plus the ghost plays and just the smart positioning to make sure Leaky always had the flank, I think that won the game for DCG right there.
It was so
scary.
He
can't flash on Unified. Huh?
Yeah, like that one time where he turned on Ghost and tried to run at Unified to lock him in prison. Like, as any AD carry, like, I would freak out. That's like my worst nightmare. That's like Halloween come early when like the Mordekaiser presses Ghost and he's trying to run straight at you. But just props to him. What an absolute great job that he did to make sure that his team went into the fights with that advantage.
And that's it for our match, I think our highlight match of the day, and we already have 2 upsets so far. Don't go anywhere, there could be more coming your way as Sen9 take on JT.